You know what? Let's go. You want to count me down, coach, or tell me how we going? And then we'll make this thing happen. Happy Wednesday, and welcome to another edition of the From Renter to Homeowner Workshop. My name is Nick Goucher, and I can't tell you how excited I am for today. The next 50 minutes, we are going to unveil and unlock some strategies that we're doing right now that helps everyday families in California go from renter to homeowner. And I'll tell you, today almost didn't happen. Why? Because our guests for today, they got sick. So I texted my guy Solomon. He's in the back. Solomon, what's up? Hey. And he said, you know what? My guy didn't show up. He's not feeling well. Maybe we should postpone it. But this information is so important. You know what I did, Solomon? You know what I did, brother? Asking me.
Yeah, I know what you did. You showed up.
Of course, I did 50 push-ups. I did 50 burpees. I said the show must go on. So, welcome. If you're out there, I'm so excited. Again, my name is Nick Goucher, and we're here today for a very simple reason. If I can move my the PowerPoint, it's not moving. Let me know when it's okay to do it. Okay, fantastic. Okay, we're here to prove a point. Nick, what is that point? The point is this. There is so much information in the marketplace that is preventing both real estate professionals, lenders, and people who want to become homeowners. They think it's not possible because it's difficult, yes. But guess what? Right now in California, that's actually in there, it's 13.5. There's 13.5 million California families, okay, today, of which over 6 million are renters. Now, California is the second most expensive place to live in all the union, behind New York and maybe Hawaii. But here's what I also know. Right now, 25%, hear me out, 25% of families who are renting right now, Solomon, 25% have the income, they have the credit, they have the money in the bank or retirement account, or qualify for a loan program to own a home. You know what that means? That means there's 1.5 million renting families. I said 1.5. Say it in the back. 1.5. One more time in the back. 1.5 million families who are sitting there. And guess what? 48%, which is almost 700,000, they look at social media and they say, oh, I have to make $200,000, Solomon, to buy a home in California. And they deny themselves. No. You know why? No. Let me ask you this question here. If the 1.5 million California families who can afford to buy, if they keep renting, do you know this year alone, they're about to spend $51.8 billion to pay somebody else's mortgage. $51.8 billion because they don't think it's possible. And we exist every Wednesday to tell the market, not only is it possible, but it's happening. And we're doing it. The nation of homeowners, we're showing the market the way. I hope, listen, get excited because it's possible. It's out there. We want to find you, and this is for you. So again, my name is Nick Goucher. I'm the founder and CEO of Nation of Homeowners. And we're on a mission to build a nation of wealthy homeowners starting right here in California. Because if you can focus on what's possible and you give people programs, you give them plans and the right partner, it's possible to become a homeowner in 2026. And we're here to show you the way. Okay? Now, let's start this off. We don't have much time today. There's so much noise. There's so much activity right now about a program in the market called the California Dream for All program. What's happening right now? In the next few weeks, California is releasing $250 million available to first-generation home buyers up to 20%, up to $150,000 that you can use to qualify to buy a home. Now, there's so much news about it, so I want to just give you some proper context quickly on who's eligible to qualify for this program. So, one, if you intend to occupy the property, this program could be for you. If at least one borrower lives in California, this could be for you. If you are a first-generation home buyer, which means your parents do not own a home in the U.S., this could be for you. If all the borrowers on the application and who will live in the property, they must all live in the home, and you and the people who might qualify with you have not owned a home in at least 7 years, this program can be for you. When it comes to income, take a minute and look at this here for a second. If you're in Los Angeles, the max income you can make is $168,000. In Riverside, $164,000. The same thing for San Bernardino, Orange County, $216,000. In San Diego, $207,000. If that framework of both income and who's eligible might work for you, this could be the opportunity to take advantage of a great, phenomenal program. Now, I get the question all of the time. And the question people ask is, Nick, how likely am I to qualify for the program? Is it first come, first serve? And the answer is no. It's not. It's a lottery system, okay? So again, if there's 6 million renting families and they expect to help about 1,700 families with this lottery ticket, it's like Willy Wonka in the chocolate factory, right? Then the chances is 0.0002%, okay, if everybody applied. But not everybody's going to apply for that ticket, which means we're probably expecting, I think, maybe 100,000 people to maybe apply for the program, somewhere in that ballpark. So 1,700 vouchers means you have a 1.8% chance, so less than 2% chance of getting the program. And if you don't get it, that's okay. There's hundreds of others that exist to help you qualify for a home loan. And we're here to help show you this. A few more things that you need to know about the program. Come the 24th of this month, it opens up to request the voucher. From the 24th to March the 16th, okay? The voucher must be issued through a randomized lottery ticket. So if you are looking to explore the opportunity, our company, we are an approved lender for the program. You simply click the link below. You check in with us via our DM, and we'll help you get pre-approved and submit your package to see if you qualify for that ticket. And if not, it's okay. There's many more programs to help you achieve the same objective. Okay, so out the way. Was that good, Solomon? Made sense?
Yeah.
I'm going to keep this in mind. I'm going to keep saying this until it's tattooed in your brain. Even with the sirens. That means there's smoke. Because I'm bringing the heat today, baby. I'm bringing the heat today. Because you know why? Because every day we're showing up. Solomon, we're showing up. And we're seeing it. I think I put it in the actual IG chat. We already have 10 new families who are in the market right now qualifying for a home as we speak. And pretty soon it'll be a few hundred, then a few thousand. Okay, we're ready to scale. Why? Because every 20 seconds, hear me out, every 20 seconds in California, a renter who can afford to own keeps renting. And we're going to change that. I'm going to say it one more time. But take that off the screen so they can look at me. I said every 20 seconds in California, there's a renting family who can qualify to own a home, and they're still renting every 20 seconds. By the time we're done with this workshop today, that'll probably be about 100 people who heard this and they're still renting. And they are simply throwing their wealth and their money away because right now, we talk so much about the wealth gap in this country. But I have news for you. The real wealth gap in America, by and large, is no longer defined by race, but by real estate. Nick, what do you mean? If you look at the wealth gap between the median black family household and the white family household, for example, the gap between the white family and the black family is about 7x. White families have 7 times the wealth, usually, as a black family. That's the median. What about homeowners and renters? Homeowners have 40 times the wealth as renting families. 40 times the wealth. That's the wealth gap in this country. And we must solve that problem. We must make America, first California, really first LA, homeowners again. Solomon, since you're here. Did you know for the first time in Los Angeles history, the last century, we've now become a city of renters? Did you know this?
I didn't know that.
In LA County, there's more renting households than homeowner households. We will not be a city of freaking renters, especially when we have the capacity to do it. So we're here to show you that this can be done. Okay, makes sense? Now, I want to walk you through a few strategies of the week that we're seeing, that we're doing in real time to help clients go from renters to homeowners. Now, Solomon, right now I don't have a crowd, okay? But if you are there, can you hear me, Solomon?
I can hear you.
Are you ready, Solomon? Are you ready?
Yes.
I'll take that. I'll take that. So I want to give you guys a strategy that's happening right now, and we're seeing it a lot. But I want to show you this graph so you can see what's driving these results. Right now, today, there's more sellers trying to sell their homes than buyers who want to buy their homes. This is the highest point on record. Take a moment, look at the graph for a second, and take a look. So if we look at, for example, 2013, and then we average it out to 2025, what you see is on average, you usually have a balance between, two, depending on when this has happened, 2 buyers to every 1 home sale. 2 buyers to every 1 person trying to sell their property. But take a look at that big spike in the red, that drop down and that drop up. Now, that big gap between the red graph and the blue graph, the red representing the buyers. Okay, this is the top of the market during COVID, during 2020. What happened? Interest rates dropped to damn near 0. Mortgage rates were 2.5% to 3%. What that means is very simple. When there's more dollars chasing a few goods, those goods that are being in competition, they have more value and they're inflated. Prices go up. And sellers, just 5 years ago, they could put their property on the market anywhere across the U.S., and on average, you had 5 to sometimes 15. I mean, we've seen as much as 25, 30 buyers to 1 home. It artificially inflates the price. So we are in a time now in the last 5 years, sellers have said to themselves, if I put the property on the market, I can really write my own check. And there was a period that might have been true. Not anymore. Why is that? Because a few things are happening right now you must factor into account. Number 1, in the U.S., savings rates are at a near all-time low. Nick, what do you mean? If we go back to 1945 to 2020, say an 80-year period, Solomon, right? On average, the average family could live their life, pay their bills, and save about 9% of their savings in the bank. 8.5% to be exact. 8.5% savings rates. Today, it's about 4%. This is the second lowest number since 1945. So there's less liquidity in bank accounts. Number two, with interest rates going from when they were in the threes to now being in the high or in the mid to low sixes, now that means that to borrow money costs you more, which means that the payment goes up even further. What else? We just had an update from our payroll records about new jobs in America, and we seen there was a revision. What does that mean, Nick? That means there was 1 million less jobs than we expected. There are people affected by the current state of the economy right now. So there's pressure and there's concern about job stability. When that happens, people pull out the market because they want to wait till they have safety net, or they have a peace of mind, or they have stability. That's what's driving the mindset of the buyers to say, I'm going to hold off for a second. I'm going to wait. My savings rate is pretty low. My job I'm uncertain about, and the rates are just too damn high, but the payment, okay? And that's on many people's minds. But there are some people, that 1.5 million in California alone, and they have the job stability, they have the income, they have that peace of mind. On the flip side, on the seller side, you know what's happening? Their equity, their wealth is on paper, because equity is an illiquid asset. That means they can't touch it. They can't spend it. It's on paper. But household savings for them is also low. You know what's high? Consumer debt, student loan debt, credit card debt. Right now, 1 in 9 people who have credit cards are behind on their payments. And so if the only thing you can perhaps do to change your financial structure in your home is the asset, you know what you're going to do? Sell the damn thing. You're going to sell it. The average seller today, roughly on average, has about $400,000 roughly in equity. So selling their property reduces their own stress in their own household, potentially, which is why you see this gap between sellers and buyers, which means if you are a buyer today, you're able to do deals that weren't available to us in the last decade. What does that mean? That means sellers are giving up more of credits to make it easier on you to buy their home. I'm going to give you an example. All right, Solomon, let's look at the other screen. I can show them really quickly. I mean, is this good? I'm not sure if you guys hear me or see me. I'm talking to the whole world.
They can. They just, because it's a webinar, they can't talk back to you, but I do have that chat here.
Okay, got it.
And Elena says, yes, we can hear you. I'm here. This is posted as a webinar, so there's no mute or engagement.
Okay, got it. Okay, so then ask Elena if she's there. If you can hear me, is this valuable so far? Is this good so far? You got to talk to me. I can't hear you. I know you're there in spirit. Hello? Let me see here. Yes.
Okay.
Yes, it's that one. Cool. All right, so if we can, let's do this. I'm going to show you guys an example of how buyers today are taking advantage of these strategies by doing many things, okay? So let's look at this one example here. All right, here's a family. All right, and let's talk through this for a second. Focus on the big picture here. All right, so right now, if you go to Google and put in 30-year fixed mortgage rates today, what you'll see is for a 30-year fixed mortgage, the average rate is around a 6.19%. All right, so you take a family buying a property at $700,000. And at that interest rate, if you factor in a 5% down payment, mortgage payment all in, mortgage, property tax, home insurance, private mortgage insurance, that mortgage payment all in is $54.20 a month at 6.19%. Now, we open escrow today on a client, 1.5 million. Shout out Daria. I know she's out there somewhere in the space. Salute. I appreciate the opportunity. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. And in this example, similar to what we did with this family, the seller on one of the loans that we're doing in this example, what are they going to do? They're willing to give some of their equity, which is a credit for the buyer to afford the property. Okay. So in this example, let's say the client is able to get 3%. 3% of the purchase price is $21,000. Okay. That usually has not been available for buyers. Now, depending on your price point, you're going to get more activity the higher you go, because the higher you go in your purchase price, the less people there are who want to compete with you, which means you can be more aggressive on the ask for the sellers. Okay, now, here's what this means. In this example, we can do one of three things. If we were to use 3%, let's say that allows us to take the interest rate down from 6.19 to, let's say, 5.5%. Look at that. If you look here at the payment, that payment goes from 54 and some change down to $5,100. The client's able to save almost $4,000 a year leveraging the seller's support to buy down the interest rate. Okay? Or take that same context, if the client said, you know what, I'm actually okay with the interest rate, but I want to increase my buying power because I want to go into a different zip code, maybe a better school. So if we say, okay, let's make the rate, keep that same rate, let's say, 5.5, let's just say in this example, and let's go up to $750 purchase price, about the same, 54 and some change. So in this example, this client that we're in escrow on now, look what just happens. They could do one or three things. We can use the credit to increase the buying power, which could change their family zip code. Number two, they can lower their monthly payments so they have more relief and more cash flow every month. Or number three, we can use the credit to pay for closing costs to keep more capital in the savings account. That is the power, and that seller credit strategy is opening up more doors for more renters to become homeowners. That is incredible. If we stop there, that'd be great. But there's another strategy that also happens today too. This one that we're using is helping a client leverage a multi-family strategy. Now, very important here, right? Because ultimately, you can come back to me, that's totally fine. Because what this means is, especially if you are a first-time home buyer, it makes a lot more sense for you to consider becoming a multi-family owner first than buying a single-family home. Nick, why is that? Because if it's your first time buying a home or you're buying a property, you can buy a multi-family unit, a 2-door, a 3 or 4, in this example, with a 3.5% down payment. So on $1 million property at 3.5%, $35,000 is the down payment. If you bought a multifamily on your second time buying a home, now it's usually a 20% down payment. So watch this. If you buy it first on a multifamily at $1 million, $35,000 down payment. If it's your second property, $1 million, $200,000. It's a $165,000 difference if you buy the property the second time around. So for clients who are buying their first property, who want to be able to have a cash flowing asset and have tenants to help you offset the mortgage payment, this could be a great strategy. Here's an example on how we're doing it right now. So if we take a client, let's go back to the beginning here. Hold on, let's go Control Z. Okay, and we go, let's say $900,000. All right. Let's take this out for a second to do a case study. Boom. Boom. Okay. All right. So clients coming in. This client, let's see here. This gives a snapshot of their profile. We're buying a property for $900,000. It's a single family residence, 3.5% down payment. That all-in payment is $68.50 a month. Okay, let's say that's their budget, and they have 50 grand if you estimate between down payment and closing costs. So if you snapshot this family says, hey, you know what, Nick, we could buy a property. Here's the payment. We don't want our total debts to be more than 45% of our gross income, right? 45%. Okay, they could buy that property, no problem. Or watch this. What if they bought a triplex? They lived in one unit. A second unit was $2,500. They had a third unit for $3,000. If we want to keep their total debts not to exceed 45%, look at that. They have more buying power now, which means if we went up from $900,000, say to $1.2 million, let's say 1.175, 1175. Yeah, it's about the same, right? And so by being able to increase the cash flow, two things happen. Buying power goes up by almost $300,000, number one. But look at this. Their mortgage payment initially was $6,500. Now it's $8,877. If you factor in the other two rents at $5,500, that means Solomon. This is incredible. By buying the multifamily property first, and if they use the income from their tenants, their mortgage payment goes from initially $6,500 down to $3,500. That means they save in cash $36,000 in 3 years. It's over $100,000 in extra cash they'll have because they have two other tenants paying their mortgage. They have the asset. They need less than $65,000 in this example to acquire the asset. And it's going to allow them to reduce their overall take home that they have to pay on the mortgage payment, allowing them to invest and save in other assets, index funds, retirement, you name it. The possibilities are there. Imagine you, a renter today, and then tomorrow you have renters. That's the game. Imagine today that you're a renter. You use this strategy, and now you have two renters who are helping you pay your mortgage. That's the game. We are meant to own, not to be renters, to be landlords, not tenants. That is why this strategy is so incredible. So if you're a first-time home buyer or you don't have a property right now, a multifamily strategy increases your buying power, allows you to acquire the asset for a lot less than if you bought it the second time around, and you reduce your overall monthly cash flow of what it costs you to pay for that mortgage payment. Now, disclosure, there's risk in that too. What other risk? The insurance goes up because you got to insure the other two units as well. What's also a risk? The tenants, they may not pay. So you need to make sure you can cover that as well. When there is an issue in your asset, being an issue with the toilet or with the roof, they're going to call you. So we need more money put aside to make sure that you can become a landlord. Super important. Our objective is not to just help you own a home, it's to help you build wealth. And the home is simply the vehicle. Does that make sense? Solomon, does that make sense? Yes, we want to make sure people understand that we want to set you up the proper way. Initiative Homeowners, we have 10 principles that drive our business, our ethos, our values, our culture. Principle number 7 is very simple. Owning a home is not the end, it's just the beginning. And too often, people are trying to sell transactions. We sell trust. There's a difference. We want to be your client for life. So we want to walk you through the pros and cons of these decisions. That's why we want you to give us the opportunity to earn your business. Does that make sense? I hope I am talking to the person in the camera and telling you that you do not have to be a renter for the rest of your life. You can do it right now, potentially, with the right program, the right plan, and the right lending partner. That's why we're here along the way. Now, last piece. Let's pivot for a second. All right, we have this new episode, a new sequence, a new, what do you call it?
Segment?
A new segment. I like that. A new segment. Okay, we're going to play a game every week called Are We Buying an Asset or a Trap? Why? Because we believe very simply owning a home could be an asset. Too much of a home can be a trap. This example, we're going to show you. Solomon, kick it! All right. So here's a property that a family looking at putting an offer on right now. Let's go up to the top here. So let's do some homework. All right. So it's a property here in Baldwin Hills on Don Miguel Drive. It's for sale for just under $1.3 million. Open house is coming up the next day or so. It's been on the market for 8 days. It's had nearly 1,000 views, and 40 people have had it as their favorite, which means they have interest in the asset. Okay. Now you can tell. Let's look at a couple of things here. Okay. If we look at the schools, for example, it's probably a good chance a family buying this home will send their kids to private school. Okay. So you got to factor in the other cost. Why? Because the rating of the schools locally around may not be the best based on their rating. Okay, that's an important reference. Okay, so we scroll down some more. And I want to look at really one objective here. So the person who's selling the property bought the property just 7 years ago for $865. So there's some room here, right? Good equity. But I think if you would look down here, the first thing I would tell you to think about is the homes that have sold nearby. Look at this. Have sold between just under 1.1 and 1.5 nearly. If we look at recent sales, these are actually from some months ago. Let's say this is March of last year. Wow. And also October, a home that's 6 years newer with a smaller lot. So both homes have smaller lots, but they sold between 1.4 and 1.3. All right, what that tells us is the listing agent has perhaps put the property on the market. They're prepared for a bidding competition. That 1299 means that comps might support a value 1.4 potentially. So they probably sat down with their seller and said, look, here's the deal. Here are the comps in the area, 1.1 to 1.5. The property looks like it's being renovated. It looks like it's turnkey. So it might not be much capital that you'll need to invest into the property. It's move-in ready, number one. Number two, if we put it in the middle at that 1299 number, we're going to get people who are going to bid on it, but maybe 1.35 might be our actual number. So they're ready to perhaps have you, if you're a renter, compete against other renters or other people who want to buy the property as well. Keep this in mind, because that number might say 1.299, but 1.35, let's just say, might be a real number. Just an example, all right? So family comes to us. They say, Nick, we want to buy this property. Can you tell us if we're going to buy an asset or a trap? Solomon, bring me back that camera, please, okay? Why is this important? Hear me out. Because right now, there are over 20,000 plus mortgage companies in the country you can work with to help give you a home loan. And everyone will take this step I'm going to show you But no one takes the second step. No one cares and goes further the way that we do. Solomon, kick it! Let me show you. Go back to the other screen, please, brother. Go back to the Excel document. Yes, the new one. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I appreciate that. If you're with us, I appreciate you too. My phone died, so we're not going to go live anymore. But if you're with me on Zoom, I appreciate you being with me as well. All right, so let's go here for a second. All right, let's look at this family. Now, the family comes to a lender, and they say, all right, Nick, here's the deal. All right, we want to buy the property at 1.29. Let's go up a little bit. Going further. Okay, here we go. So 1.299. Let's say we got to go 1.35, just so there's room here. Okay, just in case they have some room. So they have room. 1.35. 1, 2, 3. This is locked. It's not. You know what? That's fine. We'll keep it here for now. That's fine. So we're buying it at 1.299. They want to put down 20% down payment. Okay. So you get a loan for about $1 million. Rate 6% interest rate. In this example, payment $78.50 per month if you factor in taxes, insurance, and mortgage payment, and they'll need roughly about $275 to own the property. Now the family, they make $20,000 between them both. They have an income of $240,000, and if you factor in the mortgage payment and you factor in their other monthly expenses, student loan debts, auto loans, student loans, credit cards, it appears, so long as usually they're back in, so as long as your total monthly debts are below 45% of your gross income, there should be no problem qualifying for this loan, right? So if we go over, and at the same time, between their savings, checkings, 401ks, they have the assets to acquire the asset. So if we go over and we say, does the client have the gross income to support the purchase price? The answer is yes. If we ask the question, do you have enough funds available for down payment and closing costs? The answer is yes. Does your credit score meet today's lending standards? The answer is yes. In this case, you're pre-qualified. You're pre-approved. The numbers make sense. You verify the income, and the lender will give you the loan, no problem, and say, you got this. We'll see you at the open house. We'll see you at the loan closing. We'll take a picture with you on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. It's going to be incredible. You own the home. No one asks a question, can you afford it? Why? Because here's how we determine affordability as a lender. So long as your total debts, the mortgage, and the other credit debt, student loans, car loans, auto loans, are usually below 45%, sometimes 50 or 55 if you go FHA. But so long as you're under that threshold, we say you can afford that property. We never ask if your kids go into private school, how much is that? We never ask what you pay in groceries. We never ask how much you put into your savings, because that's not really our concern. Our concern is to help you get into the asset. But watch this. There's a reason why, according to recent studies, over 70%, I'm going to say it again, over 70% of home buyers who recently bought a home said they had regrets. They had regrets because they didn't understand the full picture of owning the asset. Over 54% of you who buy a property, you never write down a budget. We go off too much hope and prayers. We don't plan and act. We got to fix that, because we don't want you just to own the home. We want you to build wealth because of it. We want you to own what you can afford and invest the difference. We want you to understand how that cost factors in to your overall monthly expenses. So in this example, Solomon, back to the screen. So what our clients would do, we'll tell them, hey, so now that we can look at this for a second. So now that we know that you can get pre-qualified to buy the property, can you afford it? Off the top, look at this for a second. So the client, in this example, their gross income that we use is $240,000 $40,000, but they live off of $156 because they still pay taxes. So we might use $20,000, but they live off $13,000. So if they said, Nick, we still want to at least be able to save 5% of our income to pay ourselves for retirement or other investments. Okay. We take the mortgage payment, the non-mortgage payment, they insert their groceries, entertainment, all the expenses, any of their child care costs. Okay. And look at this. They make $13,000 a month. Look what they're spending. $13,179, which means every month they're going to be $180 over what they have coming in every single month. No one looks at that. No one looks beyond the order taking. No one looks beyond the transaction. Imagine a lender who says, I want a client for life relationship. The kind of relationship where you trusted our advice and we earned it. So you can still buy that property potentially, but let's go back to the screen. But I want our clients to know, hey, look at this for a second. Okay, what can we remove from your total monthly expenses so you can afford the property? Because right now, off the bat, you're buying a trap, not an asset. You're buying a trap. You close on the loan, you buy the property. Solomon, come back to me, please. The loan closes, you have the keys, you are so happy because it was an emotional decision. Buying a home, by and large, is an emotional decision. And once we make that decision, we then rationalize that decision with logic. See, emotion first, logic second. No. Let's go logic and let's combine emotion to make sure that we're not making a decision when you're buying a trap. Because I want you to take our phone call a month from now, a year from now. There's a reason why over 80% of people who buy a home and use a lender, when it's time to go somewhere else, you know what they do? They call somebody else. And we say, because we lost contact with them, we didn't follow up. No, because they're not thinking about, damn, I wish I knew that my income was going to be so tight. If somebody would have just told me this, I would have been better prepared. Bring that in the pre-approval process and you empower the relationship. You empower the trust. And now all of a sudden, that client says, Nation of Homeowners, hi guys, that's us. They went beyond the transaction. They thought about my future. That's the difference. And that's the mission. So if we go back here, Solomon, if we go back to the screen quickly, when our client wants to buy that property, you know what we'll do? We'll say, hey, so after you've done the budget, let's look at these debts, and we'll say, okay, well, rates kind of high now. Rates can come down potentially, but in the meantime, maybe we can, cut back the groceries, from $1,200 down to $1,000. Right now, it's not changing, Solomon, for some reason, brother. Oh, here, let's go up here. Let's see here. I sure do. So long as it allows me to see, boom, enable editing. Ooh-wee! Ooh-wee, I'm in the game, baby. Wait, can I change it? Hold on. Talk to me nice. In the game. All right, so the client might say, you know what? Initially, what we can do is we can take our savings rate, let's say down to 4% for now. So we're going to pay a little bit less because the asset we're going to pay down is a forced savings buying a home. We're going to cut down our groceries. We're going to reduce, let's say, some clothing and shopping down to $200. And, we cut down our entertainment to $350. See that? Let's go back to 5%. Boom. See that? So now, look at this. Now the client initially, in their snapshot, they were paying too much for it, they were buying a trap. Now look at the piece. It's an asset. because they took into account not their gross income, but their take-home pay. That's incredible. Now that covers the expenses. Now we say, hey, when you buy the property, here's your down payment, right? Plus closing costs. But beyond that, you have to still move in. There's still maintenance costs. There's other costs included, which we'll go into detail, that we recommend our client to say, hey, if you buy the property and you factor in the move-in, the possible annual maintenance, the money put aside for worst case scenario, and a living trust. Solomon, come back to me, please. Hear me out for a second. Today, American homeowners have $35 trillion. I said trillion dollars of wealth. And over 65% of those families do not have a living trust or an estate plan. That means $22 trillion is unprotected of wealth. If, God forbid, something happened to you unexpectedly, that asset does not go to your family. It goes to probate. It goes to court. And on average, we were doing a workshop this past week. On average, a estate planner said on average, the court can take up to 8 to sometimes 10% of the wealth that you left for your family. So on a property at $600,000 worth of value, they'll take $60,000 because you didn't make the investment to have the estate plan. What are we doing? What's the reason? There's no reason why we would leave our family stranded and not protected. So we truly recommend that our clients protect that asset, which is why, if you go back, Solomon, we tell our clients when they're getting pre-approved, we recommend to put money aside for the estate plan as well. So we have our recommended cash to close, to own the asset. We have the available capital to own the asset. Now, the client truly asks these next questions. Do you have the available capital recommended to own the property? Yes. Is your income strong enough to afford a home and still maintain your lifestyle? The answer is yes. Come back to me, Solomon. Bring it to a close. And this is perhaps the biggest differentiator between Nation of Homeowners and every other lender in America. Hear me out for a second. It doesn't matter what you do. If it's in media, people have lost trust. If it's in our government, people have lost trust. If it's in our financial professionals who are meant to serve us, people have lost trust. Trust is eroding in this country because by and large, we are transactional with each other. But a lender who goes further to build trust, to ensure you can see beyond the keys, is a lender that you want for life. That's what we do. And every Wednesday, we'll be here talking through a new strategy, a new program, a new plan on how families are going from renter to homeowner. If that's you and you're ready to take that walk of faith, to pick up the phone, schedule a phone call, our team is ready across the country. But in California, let's start here. Click that link below. It'll be somewhere in here after this actual session. And we're going to help put you on a plan to become a homeowner the wealthy way. Again, my name is Nick Goucher. I'm the founder of Nation of Homeowners. And we're on a mission to build a nation of wealthy homeowners starting right here in California. I appreciate you. Thank you for your time. We have anybody else in the
You are absolutely valuable. You are educating us and not selling us.
I love that.
Yeah,
I love that. I love that. Who said that, by the way?
that's Elaine.
Elaine. Thank you, Elaine. I appreciate you. In life, every movement, you just need one believer. So, Elaine, I'm going to ask you right now, and we can head out. Elaine, do you believe in what we're doing? Elaine, just tell me in the chat, say, I believe. Tell me you believe, Elaine. What did she say?
She did say, she did ask how are student loans factored into the debt ratio, but I think you did cover that.
Okay, copy. Elaine, by the way, after this, I'll make sure that you can schedule a phone call with us so we can walk you through the process. But team, I thank you. Next Wednesday, we'll be here on time, 6:30. Let's go.